Okay, so we are now doing the quadrille block. A quadrille was a dance from the Regency period. Yay! So if you didn't know that, that's where quadrille comes from. We are going to do two different half square triangles. We are doing fabric number 8 and fabric number 4, and we are doing fabric number 2 and fabric number 5. Okay, you're going to start with 3 1/4 inch squares. You're going to mark your center. You're going to sew 1/4 inch on both sides from that 1/4 inch from that center line, and you're going to cut that in half. You're going to press, and then you're going to trim these to 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. I like to use my square on square ruler. I can find that diagonal very easily. I'm going to trim, flip, and trim. Yay! So the half square triangles we're making, on the pink and blue you're making 8 of these. On the cream and green you are making 4. You're going to take a fabric number 1 2.5 inch square. You are going to take these two and have the blues facing the same direction. Yep, towards the green. So you have a 2.5 inch square, the 2 pink and blue half square triangles, and then 1 of the green and cream half square triangles. Again, before I sew these, I will lay out a block. I will make sure they're all correct. I will stack all the pieces on so that when I make these 4 blocks, they are identical. Okay. Oops. There we go. Next, we have the center, square in a square. You're going to start with a 3 3/8 inch square of fabric number 9. That's the bright pink. You're going to have a square 3 1/4 inches, and you're going to cut that on the diagonal. You are going to fold and mark your middles here. Make sure they line up. Open that up. Sew the 2 sides. And then you're going to repeat that, folding and marking the center process here. This is going to give you an oversized square in a square piece. And when you have that, you're going to be trimming it. You're going to take your square on square tool. You're going to look at your seams horizontally and vertically, and then when you trim, the ruler allows you to have a good 1/4 inch seam all the way around that center block, so that when you sew this into the middle, you're going to get good points. Okay. Our last piece is we've got 2 flying geese. We have fabric number 11 and fabric number 8, fabric number 1 and fabric number 11. Right, they're done with a 5.5 inch square, which we are cutting on the diagonals to make your large piece. These are 3 3/8 inch squares that you're going to cut in half, and you're going to sew one side on, press the other side, press to the same side. Okay, so all my seams chase each other. And then these are going to be put together. You're making 4 and 4 with a chevron. And that's our 3 components for our block. So we have the center, square in a square. Our chevron blocks are going towards the center this time. And our corner blocks are done with the square on the outside corners. Okay. So you're going to be sewing together row, 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 and then sew those together to make your 9 patch. And that's the quadrille block. We'll see you next month.